$500, baby, and you can pick my teammate.
Give him the chump.
You mean play basketball?
Yo, what up, Elo? What's up, baby? Just kicking this in 92 for the basketball. Check it out. Swing.
How's it going, everyone? This is episode 6 of the Cream Team Podcast. I'm your host, Griffin. Markwith. With me, as always, is my good friend, Hunter Gonzales. Tonight's episode is not going to be a normal one, guys. It's going to be a special halftime analysis of Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Of course, the Finals is a rematch of last year's Finals of Cleveland and Golden State. Hunter, what are your thoughts on this game thus far? Or, do you have anything to say before we get into it?
No, I just got to say, guys, really glad to be back doing this. Sorry we haven't been recording lately. I'm having some job.
Fault.
Yeah, it is my fault. Totally my fault. I'm going through a job transition, guys. Actually starting a new job hopefully on Monday, and it's now Friday, or it's Thursday. So going through those things, just kind of getting ready for a wedding. So life's been kind of taking over, but glad to be back on this. Griffin and I have been talking nonstop about the playoffs and now the finals. It's pretty crazy. Some of our thoughts that we were just talking about, I was listening to episode 4 today. Some of our thoughts that we were just talking about, they kind of blew up in our face, but it's gotten back to the original prediction that everybody had of the Warriors and the Cavs. So, with that being said, I'm going to start this by saying this, and I want you to branch off however you see fit. Kyrie Irving must stop playing hero ball. I'm going to say it again. Kyrie Irving must stop playing hero ball. The Cavs will get decimated if this idiot does not pass the ball, and he didn't pass the ball. So, what do you think about it?
Well, we've discussed this off air many a time. You know my thoughts on Kyrie Irving, and really any guy that plays like that in general. I really despise hero ball, and it's a very frustrating style of play to watch. Mm-hmm. And frankly, Irving embodies it. I think he's almost like James Harden light. He doesn't play a lot of defense. He plays very selfishly on the offensive end, and it's really, really damaging to the Cavs offense. So I wish you had taken a different stance. We can't really disagree or debate on that, because I do agree that if Irving plays like he did earlier in the playoffs, I really do believe that the Cavs will win this series. Obviously, that's also contingent on the play of LeBron and company, and Kevin Love as well. But Irving really needs to step it up on both ends, but particularly dribbling around for 12 seconds and then chucking up a contested 18-footer. It's just not good offense, and it's not going to beat the Golden State Warriors. Despite them not being 100%, they are still one of the greatest, if not the greatest team of all time. So you really cannot slip against these guys.
Exactly, and I'm gonna branch off of what you said. I was watching the game. I watched the first half because it's now the second half just started, guys. But watched the first half with my dad in the living room, and yes, I still live with my parents absolutely until July 25th when I move out and get married. But I was watching it with him.
Congratulations!
Hey, thank you so much. But I was watching it with him, and he said multiple times, "Dude, you gotta pass the ball. Dude, you gotta pass the ball. You gotta pass the ball." And my dad, he's kind of shied away from sports in the last few years, so he's now a casual fan. And even him in his lack of knowledge of today's game, he can still realize that you have to pass the ball. And just like you mentioned, I'm really glad you mentioned it, that the Cavs, they were at their best. They were looking unbeatable. Simply, a week and a half ago, they were looking unbeatable when Kevin Love had 25, when Kyrie had 25, when LeBron had 25, when JR had 15. And that I don't care what sport it is, and let's just say basketball. If you have 5-6 guys with 15 plus points, you're gonna win. I don't care who you are and who you're facing. And when you have Kyrie taking, just like you said, there was a particular possession. It was a 2-on-4. It was him and LeBron up against 4 of the Warriors, and this stupid idiot, he tries to push the ball, which, why would you do that when you have a 2-man disadvantage? He tries to push the ball, then he pulls up for a contested 3-pointer. It's things like that if he continues to do that, do I believe he will? No, I think LeBron will get in his head or get in his ear at the end of this game and going into games 2 through 7. But if he continues to do that, this series is going to be over before it even starts. And that's really sad because not only am I, as we've said, I'm a huge LeBron fan, but
LeBron apologist.
but also it's just good for it would be good for the league if there was a good 6-7 game series right here instead of a 4 game series like it's really strangely looking to be is going to happen with this first game. It's kind of irritating, to be honest with you.
It is, and to avoid this episode, this show, and the podcast in general becoming the Yes Man podcast rather than the Green Team podcast, I'm going to poke the bear a little bit and ask you, is LeBron to blame for anything that you saw in the first half? Because
that's a great
on
question.
offense, he looks fine, but on defense, there are a couple times where he gave Green space, he gave Barnes space, a couple guys that he got switched on to. He was giving them space and not really playing the type of D that you'd expect from anyone in the finals, let alone a player of LeBron's caliber. What do you think?
LeBron is to blame for not shouldering this load. And I'm not saying LeBron has to play hero ball. That's not what I'm saying. But the thing is LeBron is the without question leader of this team, and he has got to put this team on his back. He just does. He's the only guy on this team that has experience. Kevin Love played for a perennial loser in Minnesota. Tristan Thompson, still young. Kyrie Irving, he is what he is. J.R. Smith, he is what he is. So LeBron is the only guy, granted, did all these guys have experience? Yes. But LeBron is the only guy that you can truly say, yeah, he's been in the finals and he's been able to lead teams to the promised land. So I think we have to turn back the clock on LeBron, and we have to go back to a 7-8 year ago LeBron, and he's just got to put this team on his back. He is to blame for not putting this team on his back and for having a atrocious second quarter. But
yeah,
this, I mean, the fact that they're losing right now by 9 is not his fault solely. But LeBron,
no, absolutely not.
You got to put your big boy pants on, and you have got to defend. Which, by the way, he's defended great against Curry. But you cannot,
yeah, he has.
You can't sag off a Harrison Barnes who, like it or not, is playing for a max contract right now. Granted, does he want to win? Yes, he's a competitor. But
I don't think he'll get the max after. I mean, unless he has a stellar finals, he's not getting the max.
That's what he's. You know that's what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to do that. He's just going to try to ball out. And granted, that's because he's a competitor, yes, but also because this dude's playing for a lot of money. So LeBron, he has to take it upon himself to be the chosen one, King James, and
gross.
Hey, it's the truth, and
yeah, whatever,
and lead this team to. I'm gonna put it on air right now, and I'm gonna call it. Before the game started, I said Cavs in 6, and I firmly believe it's Cavs in 6 if LeBron can put this team on his back and go out and be a triple-double. Triple-double. I don't even want to say threat, but a triple-double maker, creator, if that makes any sense, and put this team on his back and lead them to victory.
Yeah, I agree because it's funny that we kind of view this as the Cavs, second finals, but really as a team, it's their first. If you consider, the big three, because obviously Irving got injured in Game 1 and didn't play the rest of the series, and Love was out since the first round of last year's playoffs. So neither of these
Kelly Olynyk, by the way, there's my Celtics. Yeah, buddy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So not only are you a fan of LeBron, you're also a fan of the team with guys that yank dudes' arms out of their sockets. You're becoming the foil on this show. But I think it just seems like I think that the narrative is sort of that LeBron is in absolute LeBron mode. Like, he's ready to capture this final and bring a championship to the city of Cleveland. But if he's going to do that, then he really, really has to exert his will and do everything that he can to make this team win. And that means giving 100%, or maybe not even 100%, but giving it your all or close to it on the defensive end every single possession. You can't just and like I said, I think, or excuse me, like you said, I think he does need to kind of get in Irving's ear and get in Love's ear and be like, guys, you need to focus, you need to hone in and really make smart decisions, because both those guys in Irving and Love have been making very poor decisions on the offensive end.
Yep.
And then, like I said, LeBron needs to focus in on the defensive end, because we both know you have to be two-way players. Everyone has to play well both ways in the finals, or you're just not going to be able to get the job done. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's the truth, and it's just, like it or not, this will be, if the Cavs win, it's going to be because of LeBron, and I'm talking from a media sense. It's going to be because of LeBron, and if the Cavs...
And if they lose, it'll be because of LeBron. And same with Curry, same on the other side. We know this is a superstar-driven league, and superstars get all the praise, and superstars get all the blame. But enough. Let's hop off LeBron's you-know-what, and let's discuss what exactly you think the Warriors were doing right in the first half, because I have a couple of thoughts, but I'm curious to see what you think.
What they were doing right, they weren't the Warriors that we expected at 8 o'clock, and that was when the game started. They were not the Warriors that we expected when the game started, because Thompson and Curry had, I think it was like 9 points total in the first half, and Livingston and Bogut had, I think it was 19 combined. So yeah. It was the bench showing out, and the Cavs just not playing defense. I'm not saying that to discredit the Warriors, but when you shoot, I think they shot 57%, something like that. When you do that, that's a bad defense. But to their credit, the Warriors were hitting shots, and the guys that need to step up for the Warriors to win, because you know what you're going to get with Curry, you know what you're going to get with Thompson. They need those bench players to step up, and the role players to step up, and they did. And that's why they had that 9-point lead going into the half, is because, quite frankly, they just stepped up. And if they can step up, oh, by the way, Steve Kerr is extremely mad. He senses that momentum is gone, and he's just broke 2 clipboards by punching them. So,
are you serious?
I am being dead serious.
Oh, wait, quick beef. I see. Well, now I check the score that they're Warriors are only up by 4. I have a very quick beef with ABC, with the Watch ABC app. I live in Atlanta, so it's not like I'm in the middle of nowhere in Mississippi or something. But I can't watch the freaking game on the Watch ABC app. Like, how insane is that? And we're trying to record this thing, so I'm not in a room with a functional television right now. But like, gee, come on, that's one of the biggest metropolis in the country. How can I not watch
the listeners are about to have a beef with you for having a podcast that they love, and you can't even get the game on.
I know, it's unbelievable. I feel like I can't give the profound analysis that I'm so known for without access to the game. But,
Sorry.
But I think my take was that it's exactly what you said, and it really is almost unfortunate that we're such close friends and we think so similarly basketball-wise, but because we're always agreeing on stuff, it kind of makes it hard to have an extremely engaging show. But
LeBron for 3!
Oh, gross. All right. You're going to have to turn that off. I don't want to hear any of that.
There's the disagreement.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, anytime we need to disagree, you can just bring up LeBron and I'll shoot you down. But what I was going to say is, it's exactly right. And it's really simplistic that you know what you're going to get from your superstars on a day-to-day basis, but it's the role players that really make or break a series. And frankly, the Warriors have better role players. They have a deeper bench and more productive role players than the Cavs do, in my opinion. And they showed that tonight. And really, the Cavs, it's about effort. They looked like the Thunder. They were defending well through first and second actions. But that Golden State offense, man, it's a machine. And it confuses them and it wears them down. And they lose assignments. They are slow on rotations. They're not boxing out. You saw it with Bogut and Iguodala, with those putbacks, with the easy cuts to the basket. The Cavs need to give their all, every single possession. I will keep saying it until I see it happen, because, I think they can win. I really do think that they can beat this Warriors team, because I don't think this Warriors team is the same team that we saw in the regular season. I don't think it's the same team we saw last year in the playoffs. So Cleveland's got to give it their all, and if they do that, I think they got a shot. But right now, or at least in the first half, they did not do so.
I agree. I'm gonna say a couple things. I keyed in on a few things that you said. You brought up the Thunder, and by the way, the Thunder, they blew that series. That was atrocious.
Yeah, can I say really quickly that they did, and anytime a team loses a 3-1 series lead, they did blow it. But
Yep.
at the same time, this Warriors team really pulled it out and was really gutsy. I mean, Thompson and Curry both, particularly Thompson, honestly, were unbelievable. And I know neither one of us are huge Durant fans, you in particular, and both of us really dislike Westbrook. But I do feel bad for Durant. I don't necessarily think he's the choir boy that he's painted as.
Yeah.
But I do still think that he seems like a good guy, and I just kind of feel bad for him, man. He's going to go down as one of the greatest scorers of all time. And who knows if the guy might never get a ring because of the competition he's playing against. But so I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I understand, and I don't want to say my heart goes out to Durant because in the end, I mean, the dude could have you can always do more. That's what I'm going to say. He didn't play awful by any stretch, but you can always do more. But I think that this finals, and I'm gonna take this a different way than what I thought I would. The finals is kind of set up for failure from the get-go, simply because that Warriors Thunder series was so good. And yeah,
Right.
you have your hardcore fans like you and I, and some of the listeners maybe even that it's playoff basketball. Like, this is awesome. It's the finals. Like, we love it. We don't care who it is. We love it. But just the regular Joe Schmoes of the world, they're going to be kind of just run down from that 7-game series. So kind of sucks that just like the casual fans, yeah, they're going to tune in, yeah, because it's LeBron and it's Curry. But as a rule of thumb, they're just beat up from that 7-game series. But another thing that I keyed in on is that you brought up the Warriors bench being better than the Cavs. And do I disagree with you? Maybe.
Well, let's go down the list. Let's make this interesting. Let's go down the list.
Okay.
Backup points.
Delhi.
Dellavedova, Livingston. Warriors edge. So Warriors 1.
What?
Cavs 0.
Livingston. Yeah, Livingston had a career year, but yeah, you're right.
No, he's better than him. Come on. It's not close. Livingston is better than Dellavedova. It's not like you can't even make the argument. You're a lunatic. All right, no, moving on. It's over. I'm not even having that debate with you. Shooting guard, Shumpert and Barbosa, is it?
Barbosa, Brandon Rush, yeah, depending on the night.
Okay, so Cavs have the edge.
Yep.
1-1. Backup small forward.
Barnes and Jefferson.
I would give Barnes the edge. Although Jefferson's been decent, but Barnes still certainly gets more minutes and is more productive in the minutes. So Warriors 2-1. Who's their backup 4? Fry and
Spates.
Spates.
Fry, because Fry has been lights out. Lights out.
He has during this playoff stretch.
The last 8 games.
I would say that one's a wash because he's been hot, but even dating back to last year's playoff, I think Spates has been, at least on the offensive end, pretty clutch and pretty productive for them. I'd say that one's a wash.
Okay. And then center, it's Varejao and...
Okay, so...
Mozgov, who even cares about center? I mean...
So we'll say a wash in that one as well. And then... I mean, really, we only went through like 3 positions, really, but it's the playoffs, the rotations tighten up. So I think... But look, let's think about the 7 guys that play a lot. Let's take a look at the minutes count right now. Let's go to the NBA app because I can't watch this stupid game.
Jefferson hasn't played very much. Fry, he's played a decent amount. But
did you see that one at the end of the first half where he missed a wide open LeBron and then switched his pivot foot twice, traveled twice with a no call and then bricked the 3? Or no, he passed it up to
even Tatum and the listeners, y'all are going to hear a lot about Tatum within the coming few weeks.
Hunter loves his fiancée Tatum almost as much as he loves LeBron.
And that's a lot. But y'all are going to hear her a lot simply because I'm marrying her in a month and a half. But I brought her up because she even She played basketball in high school, but hey, that doesn't really amount to anything. I don't even know why I mentioned that. But hey, shout
Are
out
you
to you,
taking a
babe.
shot at me? Come
Shout
on,
shout
man.
out.
You know I
No,
played in high
no, no,
school.
no, no, no. She was a JV captain. Shout out to you, babe. I'm gonna give you a shout out because I know you're gonna listen.
Shout out JV captain.
um, but she even brought up.
I have a beef. I have a beef with her coach that she wasn't varsity captain.
um, but she even mentioned the travels in the NBA. It is every play. It's every play,
It
and
is, but some of them are so egregious that like it's unbelievable.
I could literally spend 45 minutes
Or
talking simply about the atrocious refereeing in traveling calls. But get to your mention about the minutes that you were going to bring up.
okay, yeah. All right, so looking at it right now, the starting five of Cleveland has pretty much all the minutes. Only person that's gotten any run is Shumpert. So they're playing 6 guys. Warriors, 1, 2, 3.
How many minutes? How many minutes does
7.
Fry have?
I'm sorry.
How many minutes does Fry have?
4.
What about Delhi?
4.
Oh, man.
5. Excuse me.
And I feel like they had more. Man.
1-point game now, but no, but so here's the thing. The Warriors are getting production from each and every one of those guys, and each of them really, if you look at it, look, it's Barnes, Green.
Oh, we forgot
Bogut,
about Festus Ezeli. That's their backup center.
Yeah, I know, but he's only played 6 minutes, so he's kind of irrelevant as well. Not irrelevant, but
I know what you mean.
every one of those guys, right? Every one of those rotation guys for the Warriors. I mean, they're just contributing. Even Barbosa, who played,
He had a
minutes,
really good stretch.
he came off the bench exactly right, and he gave them a nice little burst of scoring and gave some energy, pumped some energy into Oracle. Like each one of those guys is bringing something to the table, and I think we really need to. Obviously, we need to re-examine it after Game 3 and 4 because I want to see how Cleveland does at home because you can't just judge. You can't judge a team based on their performance on the road. And honestly, for all of the trash talk I'm doing about Cleveland, they're down by 1 point.
They're winning
So
right now.
certainly-
They're up by 1 now.
And now they're up by
They're
1.
exchanging leads back and forth, but it's
And I do. Yeah, it's a good game. Honestly, we need to wrap this up here in a minute so I can go back and watch it. Stupid ABC.
so. So what I'm gonna say is, and I'm gonna take this a couple ways, but listeners, we haven't really decided yet, but probably the plan is we're gonna finish this next probably 25 minutes. We're gonna have a 25-minute little first half of podcast 6, and then we're gonna maybe just close it out. Couple days, we may have a special guest on, but what I'm gonna say is that this series, I mean, this is an X's and O's series. This is not just to give the ball to your stars and let them do work. We are, in my very humble opinion, this is a series where we are going to see who's a better coach, Tyronn or Steve Kerr. And do we?
Well, Cavs are in trouble then.
And I was going to say yes. Can we agree that
rephrase that? Who's a better coach, Kerr or LeBron?
LeBron, yeah. So it's a series of X's and O's. It really is. I firmly believe that because just like you mentioned, these rotations are tightening up. Yes, so you need to find these matchups that you can exploit both sides. And what are the Cavs going to do about Curry and Thompson because they haven't had good nights? Is it because they're just missing shots? Is it because he's shadowing Curry occasionally? What's going on? Here's Dellavedova about to start a fight. That's Dellavedova that we love. He wanted to play with Andre Iguodala in that exact way that I mean. But it's going to make for a very, very, very interesting series, and any and all feedback that we can get on Twitter, emails, iTunes, anything like that, y'all, would be greatly appreciated because we want y'all to get involved in this, and if we can have y'all getting involved in this, it will make the podcast that much better.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. In that vein, guys, we've talked to a couple people that listen to the podcast. First of all, let me echo Hunter's sentiments and just say thank you so much to everyone that listens to it and gives us feedback. It's so much appreciated. It makes this worthwhile. And a couple people we've talked to have highly, highly recommended a mailbag type segment. So probably starting next episode, we'll we'll start taking questions.
Yep.
Please submit those. You can submit those through any medium, whether that be Twitter at @TCT_podcast, email thecreamteampodcast@gmail.com, or in person, whatever. If you're someone that knows us in real life, we really like to start that because we think it would make for an interesting part of the show. A couple more things. We wanted to give a shout out to our friend Ryan. He wanted us to give a quick shout out to his YouTube channel. He is Ryan TSG. We'll include the link in the episode description. Please check out his channel. He makes some awesome basketball-related video game videos. So please check that out.
Check them out, guys.
Yes, and we also, like Hunter alluded to, we'll be having a special guest on the podcast very soon. Hopefully that guest will be able to give an interesting and different perspective than us into the NBA. Last couple things. I wanted to ask you, Hunter. Do you also think that when Tyronn Lue had cornrows, he looked identical to Randall from Monsters, Inc.? I wanted to get your take. This is important stuff. He does. Look it up, please. Please, listeners, look it up. Look up the side-by-side of Tyronn Lue and Randall from Monsters, Inc. You might not be able to tell the difference. It's absurd.
I'm looking it up. If y'all hear keys in the background, it is definitely because I'm looking up Randall from my God.
Audio might peak.
I'm sorry.
I derailed the podcast yet again. Randall. You know who else? It's Robert Griffin III Robert Griffin III looks even more like him. It's crazy.
I'm looking up a side by side. These guys are the listeners, even women. They're thinking that they're gonna get a good basketball podcast, and we're talking about Tyronn Lue looking like Randall from a stupid kids movie.
All right, guys, let's cut ourselves off before this gets any worse, any more of a train wreck. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Honestly, Hunter, I think we might just wrap this one for tonight and roll into episode 7. That'll make 2 podcasts in a row that are kind of shortened, but you guys will probably like that more. It's less of our nonsense that you have to hear. But thank you guys so much again for listening. As always, any and all feedback is very much appreciated, and please leave any ratings or reviews on iTunes. Those really help us out, guys. Guys, thank you again so much for listening, and have a wonderful day. Hunter, thank you, my man.
Hey,
I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Griffin. Thank y'all, guys. Adios.